Are officers trained that sometimes they have to provide emergency medical services in less than ideal conditions?
Yes.
The rendering of emergency aid in practice does not happen in a classroom setting, does it?
Correct.
Right? And so you're in the environment as you find it. Is that right?
Yes.
And in terms of a crowd and a crowd being hostile, how would you define hostility?
That would be a growing contingent of people around if they're, yelling, being, even verbally abusive to those that are trying to provide scene security.
Okay. What else?
If there's people trying to interfere with a crime scene or, interfere with a patient. Absolutely.
Perhaps use a weapon,
Yep.
throw rocks or bottles.
Yes.
Something like that could prevent someone from providing emergency aid. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Can the activities, though, of a crowd, the activities of a group of onlookers excuse a police officer from the duty to render emergency medical aid to a subject who needs it?
Only if they were physically getting themselves involved, I would say.
If they were physically prevented, if the officer was physically prevented from doing it?
Yes, if the officer is being physically assaulted.
I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things you said were indicative of excited delirium. You said superhuman strength, is that right?
Yes.
And I think what you said was that it was because of the inability to feel pain, is that right?
That's a part of it, yes.
And the inability to feel pain is something that you associate with, or you train officers to associate with excited delirium?
That it could be a case of excited delirium, yes.
And so if someone was actually manifesting a response to pain, indicating that something was hurting them, then that would tend to indicate that they're not suffering from excited delirium. Isn't that right?
Rephrase.
What would a subject's response to pain stimulus suggest then, as it relates to excited delirium?
That, well, it may or may not be excited delirium. It's a little bit hard to predict because no two people ever really present the exact same way.
So then how do you tell what it is?
Well, that's not up for us to diagnose. It's just a matter of taking in the information you have at that time to decide if this could potentially be a case of that, or you just need to plan accordingly.
And you indicated that whatever excited delirium is, you look at it as a medical issue.
Correct.
That needs treatment.
Yes.
And in terms of drug use as well, it's fair to say that if someone is showing indicia of drug intoxication, it can make them vulnerable,
Yes.
not just violent.
Correct.
Right. Thank you. Nothing further.
Mayor, could we have a brief sidebar?
Members of the jury, let's take 10 minutes. We have to deal with one issue. The witness will remain, however.